Welcome back to Mad Living, or welcome if you're new. This episode, I'm gonna go over, I would say, what do I got, 6 or 7 car camping things to know, or things that I learned or came to my head as I hit the road a few weeks back with no plan. And I do think they are important. Stick around to the end of the video. I have something to let you guys know of, and it will be beneficial to all you viewers and subscribers, people that support my channel, and so on and so forth. It's kind of a little appreciation to say thank you. Thank you very much, okay? So stay tuned for that. And number 1 is a backup place to sleep. Woo-woo! And the reason I say that is because when I left the state and went to Oregon a few weeks ago, I had a destination. I didn't have like 100% planned out plan, but I had a destination. I had a camping spot. It was a dispersed site, had it on the GPS. I drove for hours and hours after a long day at work, and I got within about an hour of my destination, and I was just exhausted. I was tired, and I didn't want to drive anymore. So obviously right then, with no backup plan, I'm like, crap, like where do I go? Like where do I sleep? And to be honest, since I'm new to this kind of dispersed car camping lifestyle, I didn't really know where to crash out. So I saw Quality Inn, I saw a hotel parking lot. There's no overnight camping there. So a lot of places I found that there is no overnight camping. So you really got to pay attention to where you're going to pull over and crash out. I think there's a lot of places alongside of the roads that you can camp out at. You just got to make sure there's no sign saying that you can't. I ended up sleeping in a Walmart parking lot for the first time. Sleeping in a Walmart parking lot is legal, and it's pretty common, but I found one nearby and I crashed out. It worked out being perfect, and I know Walmart, there's locations all over, so it's a nice backup plan to have, but just keep that in mind when you get out on the road, because you never know. If you can't make it to your spot, then you might just need an alternative plan. So number 2, people, is being prepared for all weather conditions. That's something that I thought of right away. I hit the rain, ice, snow. I got into the sand because I hit the beaches. But being prepared, especially not knowing where you're gonna end up, is key. So snow chains like Les Schwab has a few different options where you can purchase chains from them, and if they're not even used, you can return them, which is great. And then traction boards or traction boards, which I think I'm gonna get a set of traction boards. They're lightweight, something that you can store easy, and they have shovels on both sides, so you can actually shovel any of the debris, material, whatever it is that you're in or around. Let's move on to number 3. And number 3 are downloadable maps. You don't want to get yourself way out in the middle of nowhere and have no way to get back. So those downloadable maps, the app that I use is Gaia. You can download, you can save waypoints, you can create routes. It's super beneficial, and I know there's tons out there, but that's the one I use because I can use it for fishing, hiking, camping. So I can use it for everything that I like to do. So it works. But I think it's super important because some of these fire service roads that I've been on, I mean, they take me, 15, 20 miles way out in the middle of nowhere, and it branches off, it tees off. And so depending on how far you go out, coming back might be your memory might be a little vague, like, oh shit, did I go left? Did I go right? So on and so forth. So I think it's an important tip, and more along the lines of dispersed camping, I would say, going off the beaten path, obviously not if you're at a campground, so on and so forth. So okay, number 4, I'm gonna let you have a view of the beautiful lake. I'm eating some teriyaki right now, so I'm pretty sure you're tired of looking at my face, because I know I am. Yeah, so number 4 is a GPS satellite communicator device. I'm sure you've seen them, maybe you haven't. They have all different types, different sizes, but they're pretty slick. I've been doing a lot of research on them, And, you know, of course you have to buy a service, right? So you have to pay for the device, you know, and they're pretty pricey, but I find it worth it, especially if you're out on your own. You never know when an emergency situation will arise. The monthly plans range from like 10 bucks a month on up, so I still think it's reasonable. Again, you can set up, you can link it to an application on your phone, but they also have preset text messages that you can have programmed, and you can actually send and receive text messages on these devices. The preset ones you can have to where, you know, when you get into a certain area, you can just check in with a family member, or you can give them your location. It has an emergency SOS button. If there was a situation that needed attention right away, or you needed help, you can just hit the SOS button and it reaches out to the emergency services. As you can see from a couple of these pictures, this is the one that I'm gonna get. It looks like what it looks like. It's a Garmin InReach Mini. But I'm interested in the Garmin InReach Explorer Plus or something. I can't remember what it's called. A little bit pricier. I think that's why I'm a little more hesitant on it. This is definitely something I'm going to get, and this you can take hiking, backpacking, car camping when you're more off-grid and dispersed. So check them out. I can even provide a link down below, so if you just want quicker access to see what I'm talking about, you can. Don't go anywhere. I'm just gonna tell you right now what I was gonna say at the end of the video. So I wanna do some giveaways. I know my channel's fairly new and I'm still trying to grow, but giveaways I think are something that I wanna do and also stay consistent with as I grow and get bigger, if it even happens. So, you know, my first giveaway, I'm gonna do smaller, but items that you'll like, of course. And I wanna give at least 4 or 5 different items away, or not different items, but maybe 5 items, the same thing to 5 different people. So it's not just one person winning. And then as I grow and my channel grows, maybe if I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'll give away a bigger item. I mean, hey, you never know. It might be one of these Garmin GPSs, the Mini, of course. You know, $350 Garmin InReach GPS. I mean, that would be pretty sweet. But it's just, it's something I like giving back. So if I get the support from you guys, then I have no problem with that. So if you're interested, help me get those subscribers. Booyah. Oh, my next video. So I picked up something to help insulate my Jeep when I'm car camping out in those colder temperatures, but then also with the warmer temperatures. It's supposed to help with insulation. So if it's cold out, it's supposed to keep it 20 or 30 degrees warmer. When it's warm out, vice versa, it'll keep it cooler in here. So I'm gonna actually do a video of me testing these out in person. I'm gonna get a temperature gauge and actually really see how accurate the specifications are. So if you're interested, yeah, so stay tuned. I think it might be a 2-part video, because the first part, I'm going to do it with the item in the Jeep, and then I'm also going to do another video with me not using them, so then I can see the differences that it makes. Number 5 is a jumper box. And please excuse the clutter behind me. It's a little messy, but that's just how I roll sometimes, okay? Yeah, on the jumper box, you know, when I was way out, 10, 15 miles out on a fire service road in a camp spot, as it started to get colder, it's just another thing that I thought of. I know, you know, I have a 2017 Jeep. I'm not as worried about it, but it still crossed my mind. And I know a lot of you out there are in all different types of vehicles, older vehicles, newer vehicles, and they all have batteries. So, you know, it never hurts to just be prepared, and that's just another item that I think of. So, and number 6 and 7, I'm gonna combine into one brief, quick description, because it's gas, food, and water. And you might be thinking, well, that's obvious, but when it comes to gas, you know, I ended up topping off my tank more times than I thought, because as I got further out to where I didn't see any gas stations, where I saw one every, you know, 50, 100 miles, so on and so forth, and I was down to a half a tank, not knowing where I was going to end up, not knowing what roads I was going to take, I I would just pull over and top it off. I mean, I wanted to be full, and I felt more comfortable with that. And so I did that several times, and I think it's a good idea, because then again, if you're going way off and dispersed, then you just don't have to worry about getting way out in the middle of nowhere and being on a quarter of a tank and not knowing, you know, if it's gonna get you back or not. Anyhow, and then water. So food and water. I bring a ton of perishable type foods and canned foods. I get the Campbell's canned foods that are higher in protein because I like the protein. I eat a lot of nuts. I eat a lot of protein bars, Cliff bars. So I always have that stuff in my Jeep, because then no matter what, I don't have to stress and worry about not having food. Of course, I bring a small cooler, and then I'll put like fruits and veggies and stuff like that in there, or anything else that I want. But then water. So I have this water jug here. It's got a nice little spout on it and everything that you can open and close. It doesn't leak, and then it's got a big spot on that side that you can fill it up with. This is a 5-gallon jug, and I can leave the link in the description, but it's a sweet jug. I always just bring 5 gallons of water with me, and it is potable. I fill it up with good water, so if I need to drink it, or if I run out of water in emergency type situation, I have it. Other than that, I use it for dishes and cooking, so on and so forth.